Welcome to APART, the Asian Pacific American Resource Center, and you're listening to Career Connections, Virtual Internship. Career Connection is a series of ongoing dialogues that aims to support AAPI students and envision how AAPI identities may show up in careers and post-college life. This is a collaboration between the College of Education and Human Development. And this is Carolyn.
We have invited a wonderful group of guests to share their experiences on this topic with us. First, we have Simran. Would you please introduce yourself?
Of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Simran Chugani. I use pronouns like she, her, and hers. I'm currently a third-year student at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities studying neuroscience. And I currently have the opportunity to work and intern at the Center for Healthcare Research at United Health Group. And the internship is completely virtual.
Wonderful. Thank you, Simran. And then we'll move on to Yoko.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yoko Vu. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm a fourth-year student journalist, so my major is journalism. My current internship is with the Minnesota Daily on their podcast desk, and it is also all virtual.
The podcast is dope. Yoko, can you give the official plug?
Sure, yeah, thanks. So Minnesota Daily is the University of Minnesota's student news organization. We are located like right on campus, but we are an independent organization. And they have a podcast called In the Know. And so it kind of goes over events and news surrounding campus, but also the community around that area as well.
Yay, thank you for that. And next we have Melissa.
Hi everyone, I'm Melissa Nguyen. I use pronouns like she, her, hers. I am currently pursuing a double major in marketing and management information systems. I am currently a third year, I think I said that. I have an internship in Sydney, Australia with Her Business, which is like a very popular blog. It's top 20, I believe, in Australia, which is really cool. And I'm a marketing intern for them, and it is all virtual as well.
Wonderful. Thanks, Melissa. And then finally, we have Nu.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nu. I am an HR recruiter with the City of St. Paul, and I actually graduated from the U of M with a communication studies degree. Super excited to be here. So I'm very honored to be invited to be on this. And one of the things that I do want to share is, in addition to my role as an HR recruiter, I also serve as an intern coordinator for the human resources. And looking forward to answering more questions and sharing my experience and expertise with you guys.
Thank you, Nu. Okay, so the first topic that we would like you to share your experience on is if you could talk about, what was your process for seeking an internship, especially a virtual one, and the factors that influence your decision whether to accept it or not. And maybe I'll start with Melissa.
Yeah, so I honestly wasn't looking for one. I was just kind of focused on school just because like last semester, I feel like this was a lot for everyone. So I was just like, maybe I'll take this time to like relax, not like relax, but like kind of take it slower and like easier on myself. But then I got an email from the Learning Abroad Center, and I was originally supposed to go to Italy last semester for my study abroad. And so that got canceled, which is really unfortunate. But yeah, so I thought this would be a really good opportunity to kind of just like see the different workplace culture in like a different country. And so I applied for it, and then I had an interview with the CEO, and then I ended up accepting it because I thought that this would be a really good opportunity for me, especially since it's like virtual and everything will be like online. I just thought that it was just something to like keep me occupied. And I'm so glad that I did it because I'm learning a lot and I love all the people that I work with. So it's been a really good experience so far.
Thanks, Melissa. Yoko, do you want to chime in a little bit? I know you had a little bit of a experience applying for a kind of a variety of internships.
Yeah, so I'm kind of always on the internship hunt. And so I always keeping just like my eyes open for things. And I have like a list of doc of like ongoing jobs or positions or internships and links to specific organizations that I really like and that I would love to work with. And so that has been super helpful. At the beginning of the pandemic, I was actually in the process of an application for an internship in California. And then mid-March came and we all went virtual. And so unfortunately, this also meant that the internship I could have been accepted to decided that they were only going to be taking in-state interns, which was unfortunate, but things just happened. And then throughout the summer, I was also kind of looking, but not looking, similar to Melissa. But I kind of knew that it was going to be my senior year, and I really wanted something that would gear towards journalism and my career. And so I had applied to the Minnesota Daily, and podcasting was an area of interest that I have been looking at for a while. And so I knew that they had a lot of different positions and different internships for a while because I also have friends who are part of the organization. And I applied. I got an interview as well with my producer, and I accepted the position. One of the factors that went into my decision was definitely if it was going to be paid or unpaid. So my position is unfortunately unpaid, and I was definitely hesitant about taking this position because of that. I come from a low-income background. I have financial aid and support of paying for my education. And so I kind of just wanted something that would be paid and help with paying for finances, personal needs, etc. In the end, I accepted and really, really hoped to get a scholarship. So I applied for the CLA internship scholarship, and I was a little doubtful, but in the end, I got the scholarship, thankfully, and that is helping fund my experience and other financial education needs.
Thanks, Yoko. Simran, would you like to share a little bit about how you came upon your internship and how you decided to take it or not?
Yeah, definitely. So I think I started relatively late in the process. So I started working with UHG in June. And the way that their recruiting process works is that they do a lot of recruiting in September, October, and like that's their peak season, especially for like summer recruits. So school was pretty busy. So I started really applying to internships and, decided that I really wanted to pursue some sort of internship over the summer, like during winter break. And so during that time, I just spent a lot of time drafting up resumes, cover letters, and sending them pretty much everywhere. As a neuroscience major, CBS does a great job of kind of funneling students into med school or research opportunities. And I knew that personally, neither of the two really interested me, or, I couldn't really see myself in either of the two distinct categories. And so I really wanted to kind of explore and, look at career fields outside of that. And so public health was something that really interested me. And so I kind of looked at public health internships in Minnesota and outside. So really looking at, CDC, policy think tanks, government, public health internships, stuff like that. And it was just through this search that I found UHG. I also ended up sending Bill Nye my resume and cover letter twice. He still hasn't replied to me, but like I would love to work with Bill Nye. Like that is like my dream job. But I like in the hunting process, I was kind of confused and lost as to kind of like what my career trajectory was. And so my whole idea of like approaching an internship is like, this is just, you know, a place that can help me explore different career ideas. And to be honest, I'm still very confused and lost about kind of where my career will end up. But I think it was just kind of through applying to a lot of different places. It was kind of through exploring different avenues that I haven't really thought of before that helps me kind of, or has helped me kind of expand my thinking and at the very least, like explore paths that could be of interest of me to me at some point. In terms of the hiring and recruiting process, so I submitted an application in December. After that, there was a asynchronous video interview that I had to conduct and apply for, and this was in February of last year. I remember doing this like in Moose Tower in an empty classroom. It was fantastic. And then after that, I was called back, fortunately, for a video interview, and this took place in April. And so because it was a video interview, I got to interview with people that I normally wouldn't interview with. So had this been in person, I would have gone to the Minneapolis office, interviewed with people on the team that are based in Minneapolis. But because it was, you know, we have the capabilities of, you know, a virtual environment, I was able to talk with people in DC and interview with people in, you know, all over the country. So it was, you know, pros and cons of that. But thankfully, you know, I'm very, very privileged to have this position. And I think UHG does do a really good job of engaging their interns. And even in a virtual environment, I think there was a lot of, you know, programming to help us stay connected.
Oh,
I
if
will say that I relate so much to what you said about feeling lost because I'm in my last year and so I'm graduating soon and I have a lot of like anxiety about post-grad life and figure out where I want to go, which route to go. So I am like right there with you.
Yeah, I don't know. In this position, my boss, I've had many conversations with my boss who's there. I'm like very thankful. She's a great boss. I love working with her, but she's kind of like, okay, Simran, like, what do you want to do? Like, what's end game here? And I'm like, yo, I don't know. And I think that's okay, especially as like 20-something-year-olds. I think that's okay to just keep exploring and you know, be flexible to an extent. Yeah, but it's hard. I have no clue what I'm doing.
Yeah, one thing that I wanted to like kind of touch base on was that UHG has like a kind of like a case competition during like the internship. And I remember Simran, you got first place and you were able to be in touch with this, I want to say the CEO, I don't quite remember, but someone that's like very, very high up.
Yeah, so like I said, UHG has some really, really great programming, and the early careers team came up with a virtual competition for a sort of quote unquote innovation challenge. And so with the hundreds of interns that UHG has, they randomly paired us in groups of 4. And then we were given about 3 days to respond to a prompt and then create a product based off of that prompt. So my team was assigned to the prompt of how can we make healthcare better for Generation Z? So we were able to come up with a product that it was basically a one-stop shop where Gen Z can have a mobile application where they can access pharmacy needs, they can access health literacy, they can access doctor's appointments, mental health checkups, all on one app. So it's easy and convenient. And yeah, we were very, very lucky to have won that competition. And Melissa, to your point, one of our prizes was to meet with Dirk McMahon, who is the CEO of UHC.
I think it's great hearing just from 3 different perspectives. And you know what, very much to your point, Saran, a majority of the populations don't know what they want to do even after school. And so you are not alone in that, by all means. You are taking the right steps and getting into the directions of, okay, I know what I don't want to do, right? And so you did mention saying, all right, maybe big corporate health, you know, isn't the path for you right now. That may change later on. But so I do like hearing, I'm putting in a lot of applications into different places and helping me really shape that the pathway to finding out what it is that you want to do. I myself actually, went into communication studies and didn't know what I want to do outside of that. I remember one of the students asking me saying, hey, are you going to be a PR, which is public relation? I'm like, what's that? And she was like, isn't that why you're in communication studies? I'm like, no, I actually took a detour. I actually wanted to get into journalism, realized I didn't do really well in one of the main core classes. And so therefore, communication studies was the other plan. And I figure everybody needs to be able to communicate effectively. And so therefore that was the best route, since I already taken a lot of the core classes. And even after that, and I mentioned I worked with the city of St. Paul for over 14 years. And city of St. Paul actually is my first time and currently only full-time employer. And so I've been with them since I graduated from the U of M. And even then at that point, I realized the position that I was in at that time wasn't enough. I wanted to do more, but it always goes back to what is that more? And so that's half of your battle. Once you find out what that more is, you know where to get a clear directions to get there. And actually, fortunate for me, I discovered that human resources is my dream career that I want to work towards. And so I've been in this position here for a little over 5 years as a talent recruiter. And it is amazing experience to be able to do a lot of things I do working in government. I actually get to wear multiple hats. I mentioned as a recruiter, I'm also the intern coordinator, right? And recently, within the last few years, I am also an HR consultant. Basically, that's working with departments with the hiring needs. In addition to that, just more recently this year, based off the needs, I'm also doing class and comp. So it's a different part of HR that you may not necessarily know that you are interested in. But what I find is that type of work aligns with me greatly because I'm more of a detail-oriented type of individual. I like processes. And I like to take my time when I'm gonna be doing my work. And so with class and comp, you need to really focus and take your time to get the as close as you can to that answer, that solution. So it's not one thing where you can just, yep, I'm gonna look at this and make a quick decision. And that would be the wrong approach. And so I wanted to share that with you guys and turn this back over to Carolyn.
That's really insightful. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Nu. I think that's such a wonderful narrative and story to tell, right? Because I think that in my line of work, I see students all the time from, I don't know what major I want to go into, to alumni who are coming back saying, I thought this was my dream job. I thought this is what I wanted to do. And now I have no clue like who I am anymore. There was a loss of sense of identity in a way. And so I think you really showcased, and, both you and Simran really talked about the journey that you're really on when it comes to exploring careers and finding something that's really a fit for you, because it's not about finding a perfect job, and the perfect job looks different for everybody, but it is really about finding what's a good fit for you. And so I think that's a really beautiful transition into another question that we have, which is, what does this internship mean for your career journey in the long run? Does anybody want to start with that?
Yeah, I can start us. So, like I said, this is actually my first journalism related internship or experience outside of the classroom. And so this is really my beginning to being a journalist. And as I'm soon going to be graduating, it will hopefully lead me to more internships and a full-time position. Fingers crossed. And just really start to network, because that's such an important part, I feel like, in any career. Networking is emphasized a lot to students, and it can be kind of nerve-wracking. I know for myself it is. It's kind of social anxiety is something that I have, and so it's really hard to say like going to a career fair and just like put myself out there. And so internships allow me to build these connections and build them with my team members who have been really great and just super helpful along the way and guiding me as I am still learning a lot.
Thanks, Yoko. And I know, Simran, you shared a little bit. Melissa, would you like to answer this question? Talk a little bit about what this internship means for you in your career journey. Since you had shared a little bit that it was kind of an unexpected sort of, yeah, I would love to do that.
Yeah, so this is more of my like first like Yoko, because this is her first like journalism position. This is like my first one in marketing. I was previously a project management intern at United Health Group as well. So I feel like I didn't really get to touch base on anything within my major, even though it was a great experience. And I feel like it definitely opened like a lot of doors, and it has allowed me to like really network with a lot of people as well. I feel like any experience is good experience. Like a lot of people that I talk to, I talk to a lot of business people because that's like just that's such a Carl thing to say. But we have a really like, not like a strong quote, but it's like, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And so being able to just like get yourself out there and like with whatever position that you're at or with whatever job you're at, like someone, you never know who you're going to meet, and that person can help you like either be your mentor or just like connect you with someone else that they know, which I feel like is such a great thing about business. I am really grateful for this position because I feel like it is something that's makes me really stand out from other like applicants, just because it's like an international one. And so I feel like it's definitely, I've been in the recruiting process for like next summer. And so it's something that people have always like brought up and I can like always touch base upon. And it's just been like a really good way to be like, I'm having an internship in Australia. But yeah, I think it's been really good to just kind of open my horizons, and I'm really grateful for it. And I think that definitely like Yoko, this is an unpaid one too, but I think that being able to kind of just get your foot in the door in anything is just something that like will really greatly benefit you, because like you really want to build that resume as along with like the experience with it, and being able to kind of apply everything that you've learned from your previous roles. And like just like not even internship wise, I think a lot of people don't really recognize the importance of like other student groups and like other different student organizations, and just holding leadership roles within that is really valuable. And I feel like all of my student organization roles and experiences have really helped me with my internships, and therefore will help me in my future roles, which I feel like it's just like a chain reaction. And yeah, that's what I would have to say.
Wonderful, thank you. And I really like what you said about that any experience is good experience, right? Even if being there wasn't exactly what you had envisioned, because it can still allow you to learn a lot about yourself. What kind of work environments do you envision yourself growing in? What kind of teamwork? How do you operate in team settings? How do you approach maybe conflict? I think that's a really challenging one for people when you are in a situation where you're unsure how to address. And so, yeah, I really appreciate that, Melissa.
Thank you for listening to the first of 2 parts of Career Connections virtual internship. And we hope that you tune in to the second session. See you then.